Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actor Jesse Collin with me. So welcome, Jesse.
Thank you, Michael. Happy to be here.
It's kind of funny because I'm old school, so I take my notes for interviews just in a notebook, and I'll set them in front of me. Most of the time, I don't really need to look at them, but occasionally, if I get stuck, I'll look down. But I've got your notes over top the notes from a singer, and I have one thing I forgot to write down on hers, and I had to write it above yours. So then I'm getting ready to talk with you, and I'm looking down, and it says new album coming out.
Absolutely. It's dropping.
And then I'm like, does he sing too?
I mean, I actually started in high school doing musicals. I would never claim to be a singer.
If you can sing in musicals, though, you're not too bad.
No, but I think it's that thing of like I'm not a singer. I'm an actor. I can stay on pitch, but I'm not releasing an album. So everyone is safe. I promise.
In a pinch, though, you could sing.
I mean, in a pinch with some drinks and some karaoke.
That's right.
Sure, we can do a little duet. But I save most of that for the shower.
As most of us do.
Exactly.
Well, so Jesse, let's start this way. Since we were talking a little bit about the past, tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. Why did you want to go into the entertainment business? That's a tough business. What got you into that?
No, absolutely. I have been acting for as long as I can remember. I played the Jewish kid in the Christmas play in elementary school. I was a bit of a performer. Love making people laugh.
Yeah.
I idolized Jim Carrey, and so I'd always taken.
Were you Jim Carrey from the movies, or like In Living Color Jim Carrey? When did you become a fan?
Oh man, I was doing Ace Ventura and the Mask impressions. Just really elastic, expressive faces. So.
Yeah.
I had taken drama classes and had done plays, but never really took it seriously. And then my middle school teacher in 7th grade stopped me in the hall one day and said, "You're auditioning for the play after school." And I don't know if I thought I was too cool, but I was like, I don't know, I'm pretty busy. And he said, "I'm not asking you, I'm telling you you're auditioning for the play after school."
I mean, isn't this the plot from Glee?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, again, more singing though, right? So I got stopped and ended up auditioning for the play. It was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Ended up being cast as the Beast. And it was just one of those things where I had someone in my life see something in me and dove in head first, really took a liking to it. I really enjoyed, not just the acting, but just taking on a leadership role, and working together as an ensemble, as a company to build something. And so from that moment, I was hooked. And,
I think it's, which is why, teachers are so valuable, because all of us have that one teacher that, and maybe a couple, but that one that
Yeah.
kind of inspired you or pushed you in a direction, and it ends up, decades later,
Yeah.
it's come into, maybe that's your career, maybe that's what you've ended up doing. It was because of this one teacher.
Absolutely.
Love
Yeah.
that one.
And I think that the nice thing about all of those types of stories is you don't have to become a professional actor for that to have been a
Right.
meaningful, impactful
That's right.
moment to someone. I mean, just having someone give you that little extra bit of confidence
Yeah.
to step in front of people, to say lines, perform.
Sometimes just
Um,
having somebody believe in you is enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been very fortunate in my life to have a number of people in that position who've kind of pushed me to where I am today. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was trying to think, what the first thing that I saw you in, and I'm guessing it was Hell on Wheels.
yeah. Yeah.
Guessing with
Yeah.
that, which was what a great show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Hell on Wheels was, living and working in Calgary at the time, became institutional. And Calgary is very much like you're either outside in the cold shooting, uh, 9 times out of 10, you're doing some kind of a Western. It's
Right.
the bread and butter. That's the genre we do. So it was very exciting to get on it and to be part of that world.
Yeah. Yeah. And Anson Mount, awesome.
Stellar. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just I used to tell people that I was like, you need to watch. This is a great show.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a good actor, and then of course, he went on to Star Trek and
Star
stuff.
Trek. Well, I mean, I love the story of Anson too, because I feel like he was one of those actors who found success early and then just I don't want to say he disappeared, but he it really was because he did Crossroads with
Yes,
Britney Spears,
yeah, I've forgotten that.
which is
You're exactly right.
and so like he does Crossroads, Britney Spears, and then he's studying and working on his craft, and then the next thing you know he pops up as this grizzled lead, and I mean you compare him from Crossroads to Hell on Wheels, and it's night and day.
Yeah, it really. I completely forgotten he was in that one.
Yeah,
And my my oldest big Britney Spears fan, so I saw it. And it's
yeah,
actually a pretty good movie.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
always joke that I listen to so much Britney Spears because of my daughter that when one of her songs comes on, I'm dancing around to it. And I'm like, what am I doing? I was like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm a Britney fan.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the really cool thing about this period of time too, because it feels like everything that we loved in the early 2000s, it's all coming back.
It is. It's all coming back.
They think for some reason that we all have disposable income now and can buy the $100 Power Ranger toy. I'm like, no.
I know. I know. If I had had money when I was, early teenage years, it'd have been ugly because I'd
Yeah.
have
Oh
just
yeah.
been buying, I collected everything. I'd have
Yeah.
just been buying junk mostly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd fill up
Well,
the house.
instead we were buying Beanie Babies, thinking they were going to be valuable.
Well, they were for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think, because that's one, at some point, you think somebody's going to say, what am I going to do with all these bees?
Yeah. I mean, if we're all collecting
Right. I
Beanie
mean,
Babies, how are they going to become rare enough to become? Yeah.
I was in the 2000 Olympics. I was working for Ticketmaster. I was running a call center for them, and I got a Beanie Baby bear that was like in the a Winter Olympic outfit and had
Yeah.
skates on it or something. I gave that to my daughter, and she still has that.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years ago. So that, I'm pretty sure, the only Beanie Baby
Yeah.
that anybody in our family owns.
Well, I mean, you just need to check on eBay every once in a while
Oh my
and
gosh,
just see
they're
what.
out there.
Yeah.
They're out there. So I wanted to mention too, loved you in Fargo.
Yep. Thank you.
That was the movie was so good.
Yeah.
And then they've got this anthology series that's basically a new show every year, and every year they kill it. Such a
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah. No, I was so fortunate to get to be involved in that world. And I think about my experience season 2. and just the cast of that season
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Patrick Wilson, Nick Offerman, Kirsten Dunst.
That's
Um,
probably still my favorite season, but I've loved all of them.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm partial to it, but just
Well, isn't that didn't because Jesse was in that too, right?
yeah, yep.
Yeah, is that where they met? They kind of got together from that.
I, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some overlap. I'm trying to remember timing wise. It may have been when they met.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking maybe it is, but I may be wrong. They may have already been together at
yeah,
that time. I
yeah,
don't know. But yeah,
yeah,
what a cast.
yeah, yeah. Tremendous cast, and for me, I think I was credited in one episode, but the role itself, I actually I think shot scenes in 3 or 4 of the episodes,
Well,
which
yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw him more than one episode
yeah, yeah.
with that. So yeah, that would explain
Um,
it.
but yeah, no, I mean, just a tremendous opportunity to watch pros. I mean, Ted Danson too, and just to see how they handle,
Yeah.
dealing with that type of material and the pressure. I mean, doing Fargo, especially doing the second season of it, that eyes are going to be on it,
Right.
and
You know it's a hit. So yeah, there's a little
exactly.
pressure
So
there.
how do you make sure that you are exceeding expectations, delivering, and I think about Patrick Wilson and like him as the number one on the call sheet as lead actor, and just he was such a great captain for the show. Like he really just
Yeah.
led by example, and it was a real privilege to get to watch everyone work.
Do you know, like as an actor, when you go on a show that it's already a hit, so
Yeah.
it's going to be big. Do you go in thinking, oh, this is my chance, this is the opportunity, because there's going to be eyes on it, maybe that'll help me, or is it just okay, this is another role, and you kind of treat it that way?
No, I mean, I think for me, I think the second you kind of get into thinking about that, you've kind of
Yeah,
lost the message a little. And I think part of that is because at the end of the day, whether the reason why something does well or doesn't do well, at the end of the day, is story.
yeah,
If you have a quality, compelling story, people will find it. Um,
yeah, you're right.
so yeah, so I think for me, I was going into Fargo being such a fan of the world, fan of the actors that were involved. But I mean, the strength of the entire series, but the strength of that season in particular was just the quality of the story. So, you just kind of stay out of the way. You let the writing take
That's
care of
right.
itself, because yeah, I mean, you're not gonna make that writing better by doing your own
Right.
actorism stuff. Like, I
Yeah, I
mean,
guess that's kind of
Noah,
it.
Noah
If
Hawley, he knows what he's doing. So
Yeah, if you put a lot of, like, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this extra, you put a lot of extra stuff in there and stuff,
yeah,
you're probably only hurting yourself.
yeah.
Just
Well,
do
and,
what
and
they will
and you
do what's
can't.
asked.
Yeah, and you can't come from a place of fear, right? Like, if you're thinking, well, I want to do really well because this is what's going to make me famous, or this is what's going to, take off and be the next job. Like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself and really
Yeah.
forgetting what the job is to
Well,
begin
and
with.
it sounds like you handled it the right way, especially early on. You're going in thinking, I'm going to learn some stuff from these actors that have
Absolutely.
been
Yeah.
doing it for such a long time. If
Yeah.
I was an actor, and I couldn't be, but if I was, it wouldn't last very long because I'd show up and I'd be such a fan. It would mess me up. I'd have
Right.
trouble not fanning out over some of these actors, and then I
Yeah.
don't know that I could
I
perform.
mean, you can have those moments. You just need to have them privately in your
Right.
car before you go.
You can freak out when the door's
Yeah.
closed. Once you step
Yeah.
out the door, you got a
Exactly.
professional.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you run into that? Was there that one actor that maybe you were a fan of when you were a kid that kind of made you extra nervous when you ran into them?
Uh, yeah. So one of the things that I do when I'm not acting, I run a self-tape studio in Toronto,
Yep. I was
called
going
the
to ask
Craft
you about
Self-Tape
that.
Studio. Okay, so we'll get to that, but so as a result, I get to meet a lot of working actors,
Yeah.
well established, who come and work with me, coach with me. And there are a few actors who I grew up watching on TV, who I really respect and admire, and they've come in as clients of mine.
Oh,
And of course, you have to maintain professionalism and take care of everyone the same. But there are definitely phone calls to my family after where I
that's
say,
right.
you'll never guess who just came in, and yeah, I mean, there's one actor in particular who I learned about in university in a Canadian theater history class,
Oh, okay.
and so you're learning about him in a textbook,
Right.
and then the next he's the kindest human being, asking me if I want to spend Thanksgiving with his family, and
Wow.
it's just, yeah,
Well, did you tell him that you had read about him in the textbook?
I mean, I have at times called him a Canadian legend, so
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
yeah,
pretty good. So the studio, the craft self-tape studio,
yeah,
talk a little bit about that. I'm assuming it just from the name, it's a studio where actors can go and do their self-tapes to send
yeah,
in, which now that we're not doing a lot in person, kind
yeah,
of important. But
yeah.
what, is that what it is, and what kind of brought that about?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, as the name says, it's a self-tape studio. So we specialize in helping actors record their auditions. We're also coaches, so we will
Oh
work with
yeah,
the actor to make sure
that
they're
could be
being the
really
best.
valuable.
Oh yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
part of the. I mean, you tell me as an actor, but the one advantage of being in the room with the people you're auditioning for is they can redirect you if you're
Yeah,
a little off. But if you're self-taping, you can't do that. So
yeah,
that might be helpful having somebody that could
yeah,
coach a little.
exactly. Well, one of the things I say is, like, if when we were going in the room, you could almost get away with doing only 80% of the work because
Yeah,
you knew that you could get the other 20% from the director or the casting director who would fill in those blanks for you.
right.
Whereas with the self tape, you're very much left to your own devices. And if you're submitting something you've only done 80% of, it's very clear, very obvious. So what we do is we help the actor fill in the blanks. You're putting 100% on tape.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
yeah, but no, I mean, it basically started because when I moved to Toronto I moved in 2015, so I'm almost 10 years here.
Yeah.
I moved here with no employable skills. I couldn't serve. I couldn't bartend. At the time, you kind of had to know someone who knew someone to even get an interview serving in a restaurant. Um, but I'm also a typical entitled millennial in that I
Right.
don't believe in doing things I don't love doing.
That's right.
So I basically started. I was doing self tapes for myself. I was a hobbyist photographer, so I had
Yeah.
some extra gear that not every actor would have, and so eventually I was doing my own, and then I would have my friends ask if I could help them, and then eventually got to the point where I said, I could do this on a regular basis. Keeps me in the industry, keeps me exposed to great writing. I get to work with tremendous actors all the time, and it really has become kind of the best side gig. My acting benefits so much
I was gonna
from
say
being
you
able
get
to
to
be.
observe these other actors. That has
Yeah,
to help you.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and like we don't just read, we don't just coach. Like when we're working with the actors, we really are the other actor in the scene too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at the number of actors and auditions that I've helped since 2017 when I started the company. I mean, I've probably got to act more than most people in the city of Toronto, which only benefits me. So
That's saying something too.
yeah,
Because there are
yeah,
a lot of actors in Toronto.
there are. Yeah.
Well, so do when they do that and land the role,
Yeah.
do you then take that and use that to promote to other people?
It's actually funny. I was having this conversation the other day with someone. So we, as a policy, don't claim bookings,
Oh, very
um,
nice.
and the reason why is because as an actor, I know that my success comes from so many different places.
Right.
It comes from that drama teacher who gives that little piece of advice. It comes from that one random class that I took a weekend 3 years ago. So for me personally, I don't like the idea when studios, claim, well, so and so actor is
Right.
books this because they've worked with us. I mean, certainly we play a part,
Right.
but no, I mean, if a client wants to shout from the rooftops that they
Well, I'm
booked
sure
because they,
that's okay.
sure, that's okay. But I'm gonna keep
Now,
the
I
shouting.
actually kind of love that. I think that's the right approach. I
Yeah,
hadn't really thought about that, but that's really good. And it's also the reverse would be true as well.
well,
They
I
did
mean,
get the part,
exactly, yeah,
not necessarily just
yeah.
all on you, because there's so
Yeah.
many other factors that go into it.
Yeah. Well, and I think, as an actor, you really have to remove yourself from booking the part as being a sign of good work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get 100 Oscar-winning actors in a room to audition for a role. Only one of them is going to book it. That doesn't mean that there's 99 bad actors.
Right.
So same thing. I mean, just if you do your best work in a self-tape and you don't book it, that doesn't mean that you didn't do a great job.
Well, that's
So,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I love that idea. Good for you for coming up with that. That to me sounds much better than, bartending or waiting tables.
I mean, I'm a fan of a bartender, but yeah, no, it's really better for everyone if I'm not having to handle orders and balancing plates and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
So,
and I like the fact that it helps you network.
yeah,
It keeps you in contact with what you love and your career
yeah,
choice. I mean, there's no real downside to it.
yeah, yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
actors love acting, so any opportunity we have to find a way to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah. Did you played like one of the prison guards maybe on Mayor of Kingstown?
Yep, yep, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I have this thing that happens every once in a while where I'll audition for some sort of law enforcement or cop role, and then I end up having to do a mustache for a month or two. So,
Well, that's not terrible.
I mean, uh, with tons of love, anytime I do a mustache, it just reminds me of my dad. So,
Oh, very nice. So
yeah,
he was a mustache guy.
he was. I had never seen my dad's upper lip my entire life. So.
That's pretty great. Mustaches are kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I think people with mustaches think that.
Well, that's right. That's right. I know.
No.
Every time I see it, I'm like,
I mean,
no.
I just think I think there are certain faces that are just born to have mustaches.
Yes.
My uncle has an epic cowboy mustache. Again, another person I've never seen the upper lip of my entire life, and I'm like, yep, he's just someone with a mustache. I can't do it. So
He's probably one that had a mustache when he was about 10. It was starting to come in.
probably, yeah, yeah. So
But now I really enjoyed you on that show. I was worried, when Jeremy had his accident
yeah.
that would kind of end the show, but
Yeah.
he's back at it.
Yeah, I mean, what a story! Like, just to go through what he went through, and I mean, that alone is a story. But then to see his road to recovery and
Yeah.
how he's turned that into such a positive, and yeah, no, I mean, he's a superhero, but he is truly a real life superhero. So
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. So your new role that's getting ready to start is with the Recruit,
yep,
and this is season 2. So
yep.
love season 1. So I've been
Yeah.
anxiously awaiting season 2. But talk a little bit about that for those that don't know the Recruit. What's the show about? What's your role in?
Yeah, sure. So uh, we're all used to seeing TV shows and movies about the CIA, secret
Yes.
agents, explosions and espionage. But our show asks, what is the world like for the lawyers who work for CIA?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's actually a real position. Our show is it's all inspired by actual positions within the
Yeah.
CIA. And so yeah, it's
I wonder who came up with the concept, because it is a really unique way. You're covering kind of similar genre type of stuff, but you're doing it in a unique way. I kind of like that because I don't think we've ever seen that before, through the lawyers with the series.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the cool thing about the show is like it's not fiction. That part is not fictional. Like there
Yeah,
are actual lawyers
that's cool.
who work for the CIA and make sure that the U.S. is protected and that laws are being
I've never thought about it, but of
followed.
course there are. There have to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, our show is cool because we're seeing something that we've never seen before. At times it's comedic. There's a ton of action. Noah Centineo obviously is just an absolute tour de force as a
Yeah,
performer.
so
Uh,
good.
yeah, so good, so good. So, yeah, I mean, our second season picks up where the first season left off.
Well,
Uh,
and it was a little bit of a cliffhanger, so we
a
need
little
that.
bit of a cliffhanger, yeah, absolutely. So we can tell the audience we definitely pick up right where that ends. And
It's
yeah, I mean,
a Showtime show, right?
Netflix.
No, it's Netflix. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah, I
yeah,
was thinking I was watching it on my Showtime's on Paramount. I was thinking
yeah,
on that, but you're totally right. Yeah, Netflix, of course.
yeah, on Netflix. Yeah, and basically deals with gray mail. So as with most things in the government, it has its own special name. So when you blackmail the government, it's called gray mail.
Oh, okay.
And so, what happens in season one is our lead character, Owen Hendricks. He's a rookie lawyer now working for the CIA, and he's responsible for investigating potential gray mail attempts and threats to the U.S. government.
Well, so what would
And
be an example of, because that seems like that'd be difficult to, kind of blackmail an entire government. So what would be an
Sure. I
example of
mean,
that?
the thing about CIA is that there are a lot of things that the CIA maybe does or knows, and it would not be a good idea for it to be public knowledge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes
And
sense.
so, someone outside of that space learns this information, and then they're able to leverage that to make CIA or the U.S. government do whatever it is that they want. So,
Yeah.
in this case, Owen's job is to vet the threat, make sure it's credible or not, and then because he is a headstrong, stubborn, uh, wild man, he ends up in a situation where he's ill prepared, way in over his head,
Yep.
and here we are at season two of that story. So
Yeah, well, season one was terrific. I mean,
it,
it was, yeah, I'm not really a binger. I just have trouble sitting for that long, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I watched that whole season like a weekend,
yeah, yeah,
a couple episodes a day till I was done with it. And
yeah.
it's a fun one. There's
Thanks. Yeah,
action, a
it's
little
just
bit of humor. It's
so
got a
much
lot
fun.
in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like it's definitely serious. We're dealing with serious subject
Yeah,
matter, but you know, as is the case in life, there is some levity to it, and
that's right.
you're dealing with so much pressure. The stakes are so high that you have to find some way of
Well, you
kind
need
of
those
releasing and
breaks.
humanizing.
Even as
Yeah,
an audience, we need those breaks too to catch our breath a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. So, in this case, season two, 6 episodes. So like it's gonna come at you fast and hard. And yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, so does your character, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but do we have a chance to see your character in future seasons?
Uh I mean, this is entertainment. There's always a chance, right? I mean, uh yeah, I mean narratively, creatively, is it possible? Absolutely.
All right.
So,
All right.
I think what we're hoping for is we're really hoping to get eyes on season two, and we want the fans to enjoy our show, and hopefully if they do, we'll get to see more of where the story goes.
I mean, podcasting is like that too, but the entertainment landscape right now, it's difficult to
Yeah,
get a single project above the noise. There's just
yeah,
so much out there, and it's not, the difference between podcasting and TV movies. Podcasting, there's a lot of it that's just crap. a big part of it, because
Sure.
the best thing about podcasting, anybody can do it. The worst thing
Yeah.
about podcasting is anybody can do it.
Right.
So there's a
Right.
lot of crap, but there's so much good TV right now,
Yeah.
and it's coming from so many different sources. It has to be difficult to get your show kind of above that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really fortunate. Like we are a Netflix original, and they've been really great in terms of supporting the show. And so, hopefully on your Netflix, you've seen The Recruit
Oh yeah,
pop
it
up.
popped right up on
I
mine.
think the trailer is out now on Netflix as well. So, you just
Netflix, they had a pretty good fourth quarter.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they signed like 20 million new subscribers because of the football stuff. So the
yeah,
eyes
yeah.
are there.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, in the same way that, like, as an actor, you can't get lost in the noise of, pursuing fame or celebrity or whatever. Just focus on the story. I think the same thing applies here, in that, we've told a really fun, really compelling, really exciting story, and we're going to put it out there, and just we hope that audiences find it and enjoy it, and hey, binge it over a few days. But
6 episodes, you can do it.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, take a couple bathroom breaks, get yourself some snacks.
I mean, 6 episodes, it's not too much longer than some of the movies we have coming
Yeah.
up.
No, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Is like back in when I was growing up, they used to do limited series all the time, just
Yeah.
on the networks, and you kind of get it maybe over 3 nights or that type of thing. And I think where we've switched to 6 or 8 episode seasons, it's kind of that format. It's more of a limited series format, even when the show's coming back year after year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it changes things. Like, a typical network TV show doing 22 episodes, it becomes very episodic.
You get a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, you probably get a few filler episodes. You get your musical episode. I don't know. But the thing about when you do, 8 and especially 6 episodes is there's no need for filler. Like, it's
fast.
It's all action. It's fast. It's unrelenting, and I think for a show like ours, and the subject matter we deal with, I think it's an ideal format for it. So
yeah, agree. Yeah, really, really, really good. Yeah, hopefully this isn't a one-off. Hopefully your character gets to come back, and I think it comes out like next Thursday. Does that sound right?
Thursday, January 30th on Netflix. So
yeah, it's fast. It's coming soon.
Not long to wait. It is.
How how far back was it when you had to film it? Was it last summer?
So season 2 shot last winter. So we're just about a year since we started shooting. Yeah. So pretty big gap from the release of season 1 to season 2. But no, this season they got right on it, and
we've had a lot going on.
Yeah,
that have slowed stuff down a little bit.
Exactly. So,
which we all know, because we've hit those. Even with so much content, you've hit those time periods where you're like, I got nothing to watch.
It's true. Yeah.
So I'm ready. We're past the strikes. We've had COVID.
Yep.
Surely now we can just get back to business.
Oh yeah, let's just enjoy some TV.
Of course, LA's had a pretty rough month or so. Yeah. I got a lot of friends out there, and it looks like a war zone.
I was gonna say, really tough, like, especially when you're in the industry, because whether you know someone but you know someone who knows someone.
That's right.
Who's gone through that, and it's tragic and really sad for.
We were going to head out there first week of January. I've got an acting friend that's doing Death of a Salesman,
nice.
And we were going to be out there, and I'm kind of glad we decided. We just, not because of the fire, we just had decided we were too busy to head out there. But kind of glad, because I'm not ready to see all that. Just the pictures on TV. It's if you've been to LA, it's hard to look at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, terrible. So Jesse, what do you have coming up next? So we've got The Recruit. Now start up here next week. What's coming next? Are you working on anything new? Do you have a genre that you'd like to try? What's coming up?
Yeah, for sure. So, for me, I look at season 2 coming out, and I'm really hopeful and optimistic, and really excited for the story we're going to tell. Hopefully we get eyes, and who knows what Netflix will do with a season 3. We can speculate and say, oh, it'd be fun if we did some sort of like Dawn or Dodge spit off. I'd be
Oh,
in on
hey,
that.
yeah, let's get Dodge in a
Um,
spinoff. I love that idea.
Absolutely. But yeah, for me, I think like every actor, I'm always looking for what the next
Yeah.
job is, what the next gig is, whether that's a season 3, whether that's shooting a Christmas movie or one of
I
the
mean,
other
you're in
great.
Canada. It's like a law over there. You have to
No,
do a
it
Christmas
is
movie.
actually. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to vote until you've done a Christmas movie. So. So something like that, and Toronto is such a great market for actors in Canada as well, because we get to shoot a ton of really interesting, exciting projects. So, for
I'm
me,
happy that we're starting to get Canadian content here in the
yeah,
States. We didn't used to get much of
yeah,
that, and there's so many good shows. The
yeah,
only show that I ever remember that came from Canada was Flashpoint.
yeah, yeah,
It was like because it was syndicated,
yeah,
so it came
yeah,
from there.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
now we're
and
getting,
shot in Toronto. Yeah.
yeah, we're getting a ton of stuff now, and it's good stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the Canadian market is so interesting because we're so much smaller than the United States in
Yeah.
terms of population, but we've got some great creatives, great actors, great crew, and given the opportunity, we tell some great stories. So
Well, it's kind of I've heard people mention like Vancouver's like Hollywood North
yeah,
because you got so much going on. And of course, I like that it's spreading out, and it's doing that here in the States too.
yeah,
Atlanta's getting a lot of stuff. Pittsburgh's getting some stuff. We're spreading it out a little bit.
yeah.
Instead on the coast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean that's the exciting thing about the way the world is right now is that everyone wants to be able to watch themselves on TV and to have their stories told. And so, in the same way we talk about podcasting, everyone can be a podcaster.
Right.
I mean, there's a democratization of creativity, which I think is really exciting. It's not we're not watching 4 TV channels,
Right.
so. I think it's good for everyone to they get to see themselves on screen, and it's great for actors because there's lots of work, and it's great for storytellers because there's
Yeah.
lots of opportunity
The
to
win.
exactly, yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah, I remember, we only had 3 channels until Fox 11
Hmm.
came into existence. And like for us locally, the signal was so strong that every show it doubled everybody. So you had like a ghost image of
Oh,
everybody.
really?
But they showed Star Trek back then,
Yeah,
Next Generation. So I
yeah.
watched several seasons where everything was doubled with that, and I didn't care. I was just so happy to have that 4th channel.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
We've
great.
come a
Yeah,
long
and
way.
I think about that. I'm like, like, would you have discovered Star Trek: The Next Generation if
Yeah, if we
had?
hadn't got that channel, I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah. So no, it's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Is there a genre that you haven't got to do that you would like to do?
Oh, that's a great question that I haven't got to do. I mean, I'm definitely partial to the action,
Well, you're so good in
genre.
those type of roles. I kind of
Thank
like
you.
see you in a comedy though.
Well, I was going to say I think that there's opportunities there, comedy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm accused of being pretty dry and pretty sarcastic at times, so
Maybe
yeah,
maybe a rom-com then.
yeah, we do a little rom com, a little meet cute, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that'd be
See, I
fun.
think
I'd say
I
yes to
think
that.
we're onto something there because
Yeah.
we'll do a rom-com, but we're going to focus on the guy.
Okay. Okay.
Usually it's kind of the girl that you focus on, and then the guy comes along. We're going to do the reverse. We're going to focus on the guy and then his adventures in the
Okay.
dating world.
Okay. I mean, there are definitely some adventures in the dating world. So,
Oh gosh, I tell my wife that all the time. Thank goodness.
yeah,
It's so different
yeah,
from when I was dating. we didn't have any type of website help for any of that. I
It's
was
actually like
dating
talk
back
to
when you
someone.
had to call somebody's house,
Yeah,
on the landline,
yeah,
and usually talk to their parents
it's true. Yeah,
just to get to the person that you're wanting to ask out.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
stressful.
yeah. Oh, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
And now, you've kind of eliminated all that, but it brings this whole new set of problems.
No, it's true. I mean, talking about finding a hard time, finding something to watch or something like that. I mean, we have so much variety, so many options. I think dating is kind of that too, and that
Yeah.
like that whole picking from your Netflix menu of people is can be
Yeah.
problematic at times.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. But, I'm saying that from somebody that's never done that. It may be great.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, Jesse, thank you for taking a little bit of time with us today.
Thank
This
you,
has
Michael.
been
Appreciate it.
terrific. I'm so excited. The Recruit is one of them that I've been looking forward to for a while, because like you said, it's been a little bit since
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
out, and I had such a good time watching that tends to be the type of shows that I really enjoy. So
yeah.
I've been waiting for this one, and then Amara sent over the request for you, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm so excited. Yeah, so thrilled for that. And do your recaps, catch up on season one because we pick up right after, and yeah, season
You
two.
got a week. That's
30th.
plenty of time. Plus, the
Exactly.
first season was only like 8 episodes, right?
Eight episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. So we got a week. You could do one a day, and you'd almost be done.
exactly.
Yeah, it's easy. But you won't. You'll get watching it, and like I did, and you just keep watching until somebody makes you get up.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I will say too that we had a preview of episode one last weekend, and the
Nice.
editors have done a really great job of cutting it together. So even if you don't have a chance to watch season one, which you should, you're not going to be lost at all in the stories. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that for those people that, and my son's a little bit like that accidentally kind of jump into the middle,
yeah, yeah,
he'd be fine, and then he could go
absolutely.
band still watch season one and be fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
and there were some great performances in season one that are worth watching as well. So
Yes,
if you find our show after season two and you're at all curious, yeah, season one stands alone on its own as
this
well.
is really good. Yeah, it's really good. So before I let you go, Jesse, and I hope at some point we get to do this again.
Absolutely.
We can kind of talk again. Is there anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, I mean, in terms of keeping an eye out, my Instagram, jessecollin.actor. That's a great spot for all of kind of career updates behind the scenes.
Instagram's the nicest of the social media.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's all very family friendly. It's photos of my dog usually and coffee. So I'd say that's the best place. And then at Toronto Self Tape is the Craft Self Tape Studio Instagram. Yeah, that's
any plans to franchise that at some point?
Seems
like it would work in other cities.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, for me especially, I think provided that someone is able to maintain my level of because I have a very high standard as far as the service goes, I would say that's definitely a possibility. So.
Yeah. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Well, at some point, I'm going to make it to Toronto. Keep telling my wife that.
Awesome.
I got to put that on the list. I got to swing by the studio.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I see you got your little sign up in the background. I keep kind of reading it. It keeps reminding me of Friday Night Lights, and they had that little sign they tap on the way out.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, if I tap it, it probably falls off, but that's the focus on your craft, showcase yourself, and worry free. So
I like the worry free because that's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's hard not to worry.
I mean, acting is hard enough to begin with. So, to have to worry about all the technical side with cameras and audio and editing.
Do you get a lot of? I'm sure you get a lot of younger actors. Do you get a lot of older actors that aren't real technical? Do they come in for help?
Yeah, I mean, the world has changed so much over the last 5 years. I think the influence of COVID is immeasurable. Just how dramatically it changed things. And these are very talented, well-established actors who have had the world change in front of them, and having someone who's able to help them kind of through that transition, I think is really important. And it does come up every once in a while where we talk about the good old days of being in the room, but I don't see a version of the world where we
I don't either.
completely go back to that. So.
No, I'm sure there'll be some of that always, but yeah, I don't think we're ever going back to the pre-2020 days.
No, I mean, even the fact that we're doing this right now, I mean, this is
You're exactly right.
Yeah,
we started, and I've said that, when we started, we were holding a cell phone up to a microphone and there was no video. And then 2020 happened and suddenly everybody's home. We got very few no's because nobody had anything to do. Yeah. And we started using Zoom, and that's when we took off. So COVID was terrible for everybody, and I would definitely give it up if it meant we didn't have to go through that. But it was pretty positive for us in that respect.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a high-speed internet connection now. Everyone has a camera. So I think that flexibility that we get from that, I think we're going to run with it. Like, LA. You can move, you can travel, you can go on vacation, you can audition from everywhere, anywhere, and I think that there's some trade-off there, but I do think there's a real benefit.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. Open invitation, so when you're ready, reach out. We'll do it again.
Well, sounds good. Well, next, when you get yourself to Toronto, let me know, and
I will. I'll reach out. Yeah. We'll put that'll be one of our tourist stops. I was like, we got to go to the tape studio.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Yeah. I mean, we can tape a live conversation.
Oh, here. We have to. Yeah. If I come down there, we have to. That'd be awesome.
That's great.
Well, thank you so much, Jesse. And we'll do it again.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on one second. Jesse, Collin, talented actor. He is so good. When he shows up on a show, I know things are going to happen that I'm going to enjoy. He always seems to show up on those action shows that I like. Loved him on Mayor of Kingstown. He was good in Fargo. Hell on Wheels, enjoyed that one. Can't wait for The Recruit. Such a good show. Make sure you check him out. He plays Dodge, and it'll be out on January the 30th on Netflix. I don't know why I had that in my head. That I tell you why, because I believe Showtime has a show called The Agency. I think that's where maybe I got that mixed up in my head. But it's The Recruit, Netflix, January 30th. 6 episodes. Make sure you check that out. If you're fine, Jesse, by the way, the second person named Jesse that I interviewed today, I talked to a jazz pianist earlier that was also named Jesse. It doesn't mean anything, but that's how my mind works. It kind of popped into my head that Jesse is the popular name of the day. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're finding us for the first time, we would love to have your support. It's easy to do. It's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but really helps us out. Our website's meistercon.com. You can find almost 900 episodes, audio and video versions on there. I guarantee I would put our guest list up against any other talk show, podcast, radio show, anything. I think we have the best guests. And I know that you're not tuning in to see me. I'm not sure I would tune in to see me. But the guests that we have on this show are so good that I know that's why you keep coming back. And I'm so appreciative. So please, meistercon.com. That'll let you know if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, maybe we're going to Toronto to talk to Jesse, if we're covering a convention. Anything we have going on will be on that website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.